at 10, gunfire shatters the morning routine at a Mid-South Walmart. By the time this shooting stops, 2 managers would be dead and a South Haven police officer hurt.
And he seemed real nice and real cool and quiet. But to hear this is extremely shocking, so it's a surprise to me.
New information tonight about the man now accused of opening fire and the reason he was suspended from his job at that store just days earlier.
Okay, now get to the car. You heard a pop, 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 pop. Man, look.
And we're hearing from people who were at the store when the gunfire began, the ways they got to safety and the impact this tragedy is having across the community. Our team coverage starts now.
With all today's breaking news, WMC Action News 5 at 10 starts now.
Walmart workers at a South Haven store and across the company are reeling from a workplace attack that left 2 of their colleagues dead. Good evening, I'm Joe Birch.
And I'm Kanji Anthony. Tonight, a much clearer picture of the accused gunman and the chaotic moments inside the store coming into view. WMC Action News 5's Joyce Peterson begins our live team coverage. Joyce.
Kanji and Joe, there's an electronic sign outside the Walmart here in South Haven indicating the store is closed indefinitely. The employees are being offered crisis counseling, as are the police officers in South Haven who responded within minutes of the first gunshot. Early morning gunfire at Walmart shattered the peace in South Haven Tuesday. The suspect, 39-year-old Martez Abram, described by Mayor Darren Musselwhite as
a disgruntled employee. You know, it's someone that had a personal grievance with his employer.
South Haven police say Abram shot and killed 2 supervisors, 38-year-old Brandon Gales and 40-year-old Anthony Brown.
Workplace violence has unfortunately become a common everyday deal.
Investigators say Abram set a small fire in the store, then got into a shootout with police in the parking lot. 1 South Haven officer injured, saved by his bulletproof vest. Abram also hit twice by gunfire. South Haven Police Chief Macon Moore says the department's active shooter drill paid off.
There's no doubt that training that they received 2 weeks ago saved lives today.
As stunned Walmart employees gathered in the parking lot, investigators confirmed Abram brought a knife to the store recently. A police report was filed. Abram suspended. South Haven, now the latest town to experience a tragic new normal.
This is something that could happen in any city in America. It's unfortunate but true that, it's somewhat a sign of the times.
Store manager Anthony Brown leaves behind 2 children. Brandon Gales leaves behind 3 children. Martez Abram is in custody tonight, recovering from surgery at Regional 1. Live in South Haven outside the Walmart, I'm Joyce Peterson, WMC Action News 5.
All right, thank you, Joyce. And investigators are still digging into Abram's history, but say that he has no criminal record. WMC Action News 5's Janice Broach live with what the man's family and neighbors are saying about this shooting. Janice.
Well, Martez Abram is here at the Regional Medical Center after surgery after police shot him twice. I talked with his extended family who told me they haven't seen him in years, but they knew he was the suspect in that Walmart shooting.
He seemed real nice and real cool and quiet, but to hear this is extremely shocking, so it's a surprise to me.
Neighbors of Martez Abram, the suspect in the deadly Walmart shooting, are dumbfounded that someone they described as quiet could be accused of such a crime. But neighbors got a hint around 7 this morning when police asked them to leave.
They just asked us to leave. They just asked the residents to leave.
Bennett Henderson said police were at the Lakecrest Apartments not too far from the Walmart all day.
It's just been a hectic day.
Our camera captured an officer coming from Abram's apartment gathering evidence. He asked us to blur his face because he said he worked as a narcotics officer. Investigators say they did recover weapons. Neighbor Darta Lafayette would see Abram as she arrived home from work and he was leaving.
When I come home from work, after 4 in the morning, he'd be coming out, getting his truck, going to work.
DA John Champion says 39-year-old Martez Abram was suspended from his job at Walmart pending the outcome of an investigation after he walked into the store with a knife.
He was in the store and had a knife in his belt and showed it to an employee, and The employee was concerned and called the police department and wished to make a report.
Champion said Abram did not have a criminal history and the weapon he had at the shooting was purchased legally. The shooting at Walmart happened around 6:30 Tuesday morning. Darta Lafayette told me she was at Walmart around 4 in the morning when she got off work and says everything was quiet.
I'm shocked, because I never thought nothing like this would happen.
Now, Martez Abrams' extended family told me that his father did visit him here at the Regional Medical Center. He is charged with murder. Live in the medical district, Janice Broach, WMC Action News 5.
Of course, that store was filled with employees and early morning shoppers, many of whom narrowly escaped the gunfire. WMC Action News 5's Kelly Cook continues our live team coverage now from South Haven. Kelly?
Joe, some tense moments here at this Walmart, including for one man who was just leaving the store when those shots rang out. He says it's a moment he will likely never forget.
Walking out, get to the car, you heard a pop, 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 pop. Man, look.
Carlito Odom posted this Facebook Live video shortly after shots rang out at this Walmart in South Haven. A sea of blinking blue lights, fire trucks, and ambulances in the parking lot. In Odom's video, you can hear yelling in the background. South Haven police says shortly after 6:30 a.m., 39-year-old Martez Abram opened fire in the store. Witnesses say people ran for cover. Walmart department manager Akiri Harvey is seen here being rolled out of the South Haven Walmart on a stretcher after suffering a sprained knee running for cover. Her mother says she was fighting to save her life and the lives of others.
When she heard the gunshots and saw the guy come in, she knew who he was. And she called her dad and she was running. And she told the customers to follow her. And that's when she took them out the back way. And she took the fire hydrant and busted the door to try to get the customers out.
Praises go up, man, to the family of the person shot, man.
2 Walmart employees died in the shooting, putting this community on edge.
Put it like this: every time I go to Walmart from now on, I'm gonna be looking 180 degrees around, make sure, in case something like that does happen again.
After about 12 hours on the scene, we saw that police officers and law enforcement vehicles were finally starting to leave. You can see the crime scene tape is still up. People are not allowed inside. But around that same time, I did speak to a couple employees who are also being allowed to go back inside the store. They told me they were tasked with trying to clean up all the chaos that was left behind. In South Haven tonight, Kelly Cook, WMC Action News 5.
And we've heard from many of you wanting to know when this store will be back open. We know that investigators cleared the scene, as Kelly mentioned this afternoon. Walmart South Haven posted on Facebook the store will remain closed at this time, but updates will be posted online. Customers with urgent pharmacy needs should call the Horn Lake store. Of course, we'll continue to follow the story on air and online. You can watch all of the day's coverage and read more from city leaders and witnesses. Just head to WMCActionNews5.com or the WMC Action News 5 app.
First alert, Doppler 5 radar dry for much of the Mid-South. A little bit of rain still lingers around parts of northeastern Mississippi, but that's beginning to fizzle out as well. And drier patterns settling in now as we're seeing a cold front start to push into the area. That's going to bring some drier air to the Mid-South. Now, right now it's dry in Memphis. We've got a mostly clear sky. 80 degrees. The temperature is still a little muggy. Feels like it's 85. Our high did hit 88 this afternoon. Let's talk about your morning commute because there could be some fog at 6 and 7. I want you to allow a little extra time. Let's take a look at the fog forecast as we get into the wee morning hours around 3 a.m. With all the moisture at the surface and that approaching front and a calm wind, we can see some pretty thick fog between 3 and 6 a.m. Should mix out by late morning. We'll talk more about the day, temperatures, and what's in store for the rest of the week. That I think you're going to like. Your first alert forecast just minutes away.
New here at 10 o'clock, a man's recovering after being shot multiple times outside a Lamar Avenue business. We saw officers investigating outside Gibson's Propane on Knight Arnold Road just after 2 o'clock today. Police say the victim was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. No word on any suspects or arrests in this case.
More than a year later, a suspect has been charged in the shooting death of a woman outside of a downtown nightclub. A Shelby County grand jury handed up an indictment against 28-year-old Alan Neal. He is facing a second-degree murder charge in the 2018 death of Tasha Addison, known to many as Choosy Parker. Investigators say that Parker was shot when Neal exchanged gunfire with another man outside the Purple Haze nightclub.
Caught on camera, a homeowner says 4 people jumped the fence before breaking into her house in Parkway Village. This happened about 1 o'clock today on Curtis Street. You could see the men in hoodies walking along the fence line behind the victim's house. She says they broke out a back window before stealing from the home.
Police also looking for the man suspected of stealing multiple catalytic converters around Covington Pike. Investigators released these images of this man pulling up to Spice Cove early Saturday morning. A converter stolen from a vehicle parked at that business, and nearby businesses have also been hit recently. Call Crime Stoppers if you recognize him. Still at 10, the candidates back on stage. The second round of Democratic presidential debates kicking off in Detroit. The key issues the contenders are trying to drive home.
And a big name not coming to Beale Street now. The restaurant pulling out of their plans to be on the Boulevard of the Blues.
You're watching WMC Action News 5 at 10.
North Korea has fired several unidentified projectiles off its east coast. That's according to South Korea's military officials. The still pictures that you see here, released by Korean Central News Agency, shows the open, which appears to be a missile in the sky, along with leader Kim Jong-un watching. Leaders say that the launches were aimed at ramping up pressure on the U.S. to make concessions to resume diplomacy on the North Korean nuclear weapons program.
Now to Decision 2020. The Democratic race for the White House roared through the Motor City tonight. 10 presidential hopefuls taking center stage for the first of 2 nights of debates. Jay Gray has the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Democratic candidates for President of the United States.
From the start, the 10 Democratic hopefuls took aim at President Trump.
Donald Trump disgraces the office of president every single day.
And each other.
You don't know that,
Second
Bernie.
of all,
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know it.
Congressman.
I wrote the damn bill.
Much of the focus on the 2 progressive senators standing at the center of the stage. The other candidates labeling them out of touch and unelectable.
Folks, we have a choice. We can go down the road that Senator Sanders and Senator Warren want to take us with bad policies like Medicare for all, free everything, and impossible promises.
But the frontrunners on night 1 stood their ground.
You know, I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
The back and forth continued over health care, immigration, gun control, the climate, and other hot-button issues. The only topic all 10 seemed to agree on.
Anyone on this stage tonight or tomorrow night would be a far better president. I promise no matter who our candidate is, I will work my heart out to beat Donald Trump.
But right now, the debate continues over just who that candidate will be.
Governor Hickenlooper, you disagree.
Jay Gray, NBC News, Detroit.
Looks like 17-year-olds will get a head start on voting in 2020. Colorado will allow the teens to vote in primaries with 2 stipulations. The voter must turn 18 before the general election and vote in person. Advocates there say the goal is to improve younger voter turnout across the state.
Colorado already leads the nation when it comes to election security and election access, but now we're going to be leading the nation by being one of the most youth vote-friendly states in the entire country.
Some county clerks there are against the law, saying it will cost the state millions of dollars. They say in-person voting is unnecessary since 95% of voters in Colorado vote by mail.
A highly anticipated restaurant is serving up some disappointing news tonight. According to Memphis Business Journal, Wahlburgers is not moving in on Beale Street. The burger chain, owned by the celebrity brothers Donnie Mark and Paul Wahlberg, was slated to open a location at the head of Beale Street, right there at the corner of 4th. Wahlburgers announced in 2017 a move to Memphis, but the project has been plagued with problems. Officials with the Downtown Memphis Commission say they're working to find another tenant for that space.
Got a good-looking weather pattern coming into play as we get into the rest of the week. Rain is getting out of here. Still a few showers, as I showed you moments ago, but most of that just to the east of the WMC Action News 5 coverage area. And you can see right now on our First Alert Doppler 5 radar, most of us having a dry night. Let's talk about what's in store, because from now until, about 8 a.m., we're going to see a partly cloudy sky, but there could be a little fog overnight for some areas. There's a lot of moisture at the surface. We're going to have a light wind and somewhat cooler, drier air overriding that surface moisture. So there could be a little fog that develops. And as a matter of fact, some areas could be even a little thick. By 8 o'clock, I'm looking for a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures low to mid 70s. We get into the afternoon around 2. I can't rule out a hit or miss shower, but I think for the most part, majority of the area, majority of the day is going to be dry. Rain chance is only about 10%. We will see temperatures right around the mid to upper range of the 80s. Low humidity as we get into the afternoon hours and especially into the evening. That's when the drier air starts to move in. The sky will clear. We'll see temperatures by 7 p.m. in the low to mid 80s, and then I think we're going to be in for a cool night for tomorrow night. So here's what you need to know. The sunshine returns tomorrow, and it will be mild for the rest of the week. Now, we are looking at a warmer and muggier weekend. You know, we often talk about dew points, and when we see dew points, that's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. And when they're in the mid-range of the 60s, that's an indication of low humidity and really feeling nice. It's when they start to get a little closer to 70, that's when it starts to get sticky outdoors, and that's what it's likely going to do as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures will be climbing as well. Now, tonight, we're looking at a few clouds overnight, patchy fog well after midnight, 70 our overnight low. The wind's going to be light and out of the north. As we get into the day tomorrow, I'm looking for sunshine to return by midday. Should be about 85. By the way, partly to mostly cloudy at 8. Should be about 74. 85 at noon, 88 at 3 and at 5, and we should hit 85 at 7. We'll have a northeast wind throughout the day, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. I think it's going to be mild, mostly sunny, on average a high of 88 degrees. The muggy meter, look at this, should be very pleasant as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and especially on Friday as we see the lower humidity in place. Here's a 7-day forecast. Again, 90 Thursday, 90 Friday. That's warm, but it's still a couple of degrees below average. There's a slight chance of a shower Friday evening as a front moves through the area. That will make it muggy as we get into the weekend. That's going to allow a southerly flow to return to the mid-south. Make it for a partly cloudy weekend, a warmer one, a humid one. Temperatures around 91 both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a pop-up shower in the afternoon as well. And I think Monday and Tuesday are going to be partly cloudy. More of a typical, early August pattern. Low 90s, hot, a little humid out there.
Okay, what we expect.
Yeah. We know that story. All right, travel-sized toiletries hitting the road. The reason Holiday Inn is getting rid of small shampoos and those soap bottles and what you'll get instead. Is love getting too expensive for millennials? That could be the case, according to a new survey from the dating website Match.com. 30% of millennials now say their financial situation is holding them back from pursuing a real relationship. They say dating is too expensive, especially as first dates have gotten so much more elaborate. High living expenses and student debt are also eating into money that could be used for dating.
If you're one of those people who likes to collect those little travel-sized toiletries from different hotels, well, Holiday Inn might not be for you. The hotel's parent company, which also owns the Crown Plaza Hotel, says that it's going to stop supplying those small plastic bottles of shampoo, conditioner, bath gel for guests. Instead, rooms will have larger containers that don't have to be thrown away. The chain says the goal is to reduce plastic waste by 2021.
The world's largest steam locomotive is on the move. This is Big Boy, built by Union Pacific in the 1940s. The steam engine is 133 feet long. Just look at this thing. It weighs more than 1 million pounds. Big Boy passed through Chicago today. It's headed to Wyoming to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad.
Well, could the next Fast and Furious movie take place in outer space? The idea is apparently not off limits for the screenwriter of this series. It comes as the newest spinoff of the franchise hits theaters this weekend. Screenwriter Chris Morgan says that he's open to taking the story anywhere, including space. But the movie would have to be true to its original spirit. He says the audience would have to love it.
Here's a look at some of the fun coming up next tonight on The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon.
Hey guys, Queer Eyes, Fab Five are here tonight. Plus, we have Kevin Bacon, music from the High Women. It's a great show. Stay tuned.
Hey, everybody, talk about getting your footing back. Memphis Grizzlies forward Jaren Jackson Jr., well, he's picking up where he left off in an injury-shortened first season. Triple J putting time in the gym this summer, and from the looks of it, wow, the way it looks right here, it's time well spent. Jackson, who was the 4th overall pick in the 2018 draft, only played about 50 games before the Grizzlies shut him down with a thigh injury, but that time on the court earned him NBA All-Rookie First-Team honors. Jaren is the only rookie in NBA history with 1,500 or more minutes played to average at least 19 points, 1.9 blocks, a three-pointer, and a steal on a 36-minute scale. And you know what? He's still only 19 years old. Just thinks what he'll do when he pairs with this year's prize rookie, Ja Morant. NBA training camps open in late September. Make that pass there. Wow, whips it right off the game. Way I used to. And the Grizzlies look like they're ready to add a long-range shooter to the mix. Several media reports say the Grizz will sign EuroLeague star Marko Djurdjic to a 2-year deal pending a league physical. It's a low-risk reward move for the Grizz. Low-risk, high-reward move for Memphis. Djurdjic averaged 3 triples a game, hitting a blistering 47.7% beyond the arc. He shot 54% overall and leading Fenerbahce of Istanbul to the EuroLeague playoffs. The 24-year-old also averaged more than 2 assists per game, but they don't want him because he can shoot that long ball, shoot that thing. He's going to take a layup. Hey, baseball, Memphis Redbirds are back at AutoZone Park for a 7-game homestand. The Birds opening against Albuquerque tonight. Big 6th inning for Memphis. Shortstop Edmundo Sosa, a 3-run home run. Catcher Joe Hudson, a 2-run shot. 6 runs in the frame. That's good enough for a 6-3 Redbirds victory. Hey, light up the cannons. Same teams coming up Wednesday. First pitch, 6:35 p.m. downtown at the Zone. And in the majors, big series at home for the Redbirds' parent Cardinals as they host the arch-rival Cubs upriver at Busch Stadium. 4th inning, Adam Wainwright pitching to Javier Baez with a runner at third, and Baez comes up with this. It's a base hit to left field. That'll play Jason Hayward, and the Cubs take a 1-0 lead. St. Louis wasting no time tying it up. Bottom of the frame, 2 on for former Memphis Redbird Colton Wong. Yu Darvish had 8 strikeouts up to this point, but this pitch, well, kind of gets away from him behind Wong. Martinez will come in to score, and we are all tied 1-1. 2 innings later, Paul Goldschmidt's up for the Cardinals. You know, they paid big bucks for him as a free agent to knock balls out of the park, and what does he do? Well, he gets a home run. St. Louis gets the win. Final score 2-1. And that's it for sports. We'll be right back.
We thank you for making us a part of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stream WMC Action News 5 for free on WMCActionNews5.com, our new Roku, and Amazon Fire TV channels. Shelter insurance agent Lauren Haas-Gilchrist helps you plan for life's changes and unexpected events. Call her for a quote today.